Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing fantastically well. It's Connor here on a 40-degree day where I am absolutely melting. It's not fun, is it? We are back here with the Rumour. We've got 2 videos today, everyone. So, yeah, cheers to that. I've got myself an iced coffee. It has to be iced. I'm not, a big coffee drinker, but I can't be drinking any of that hot stuff today. Starbucks do a great one, but I've tried to make my own. Looks like slush. So there you go. If you see me with this tonight, it's an iced coffee. It'll be decaf, though. But listen, hope we're all doing well. If you are off work today, tell me what you're doing because I need some advice. What did you do when it's 41 degrees? Absolutely mental. But listen, thank you to everybody who's joining. It is about 9:45. A lot of you probably should be at work, but you're here watching me. Thank you. But as I say, we'll have another live stream tonight. Is the return of the debrief. I know you guys have been buzzing to hear it, buzzing to see it, buzzing to see us back together. It's tonight from 7 o'clock. If you can make it, fantastic. If you can't make it, you'll be able to watch it on the replay as well, guys. If you want to sign up to some bonus content, the Patreon link is in the description below. We have 165 members now, 2 extra videos a week, 8 videos a month. If you fancy some bonus content, check that out. Okay, let's have a look at what some of you guys are saying. Dave's in the building. Morning, mate. How you doing? Hope you're okay. Minor Connor. Don't know if that means morning. Minor Connor. I wish I was still a minor. I'm near on 30 years old, mate. It's depressing. Morning, all. Joe's in the building. Hope you're all right, pal. Yeah, and I just thought I'd do just a random live stream. Connor, I'm in Malta. 40 degrees is from mate. Nah, I couldn't deal with it, mate. Craig could not deal with it. I don't mind it. I don't mind like 25 upwards, but anything else, nah, can't be dealing with it. Can't be doing it too hot. Okay, let's get on to it, shall we? 187 of you in the building. If we could get 150 likes, everyone, that would be great. So let's get into it, shall we? Leeds United signing Sonny Perkins yesterday from West Ham United. I wanted to discuss this. I wanted to talk about this a little bit because this is really interesting for me because Sonny Perkins, I think, is a really good signing. I think he's going to take up the Darko Gyabi role, almost where he's closer to the first team than people actually expect. So I think it's given Leeds a really good foundation, a really good base. If the worst case scenario did happen, if Leeds were to go down, which I don't think will happen, by the way, it gives Leeds United a really good base to have these sort of players in and around the first team so they can develop. If we'd have gone down last season, everybody, you'd have had the likes of Greenwood, Gelhardt, probably Lewis Bate play a significant role in Leeds' championship season. But I'm just saying, worst case scenario, someone like Sonny Perkins is a really top signing. So he can play anywhere along the front four, really. When you look at his attributes, fantastic, as I said, striker of the ball, very quick. And I think everything that he has really does fit into this system seamlessly. And that's what I like what Victor Orta's doing at the minute. He's buying system-based players, not just flashy players. Leeds United have got a tier list every single time, and we're bringing players in who fit the Jesse Marsch system, which I do like, because you do see a lot of clubs who just buy players just because they're big names, just because they're going to be great. The fans are going to enjoy the name, they're going to enjoy the transfer, and that's it really. And I don't think that's a good way of going forward. So I think we've given Victor Orta a lot of criticism. Of course, we have me included, but I do think what he's doing this window is quite special, and hopefully we're going to see the fruits of that in this Premier League campaign. But I really do think Sonny Perkins has been signed, everybody. And what I will say with Sonny Perkins is Tottenham were after him for a long time. They were in for him for a long time. Once again, I always tell you guys, speak to a couple of people behind the scenes. Tottenham were in for him for a long time. West Ham were trying to offer him contract upon contract upon contract, and Aston Villa were also in for him. So how have Leeds got him then? Because if we look at it, unfortunately, it's not about where we are, in terms of a club, because we've still got a long way to go. So how I think Leeds United have got this one done, probably similar to Darko Gyabi, really, because Manchester City did want to keep hold of him. Hence why they put loads of clauses in his contracts. I think what Leeds have done is they've almost guaranteed him that he's going to be part of the first team picture, similar to Gyabi. So I actually think that he's going to be playing, or he's going to be in and around the first team a lot more than people think. I don't think he's going to be transitioning into the 21s as obviously as people think. I think he's going to come in and he's going to be part of that substitute setup, and it's going to be interesting to see Leeds United deploy him, really. And Andrew's in the building there and says, we can't rely on Bamford. And I think it's a good point from Andrew, because I think that's going to be the problem. I think, you know, in Bamford's entire career, he's pretty much had an injury-free season for Middlesbrough when he scored 17 goals, and Leeds United really in the Premier League season. Overall, he's had those injury-free seasons. Aside from that, he has been blighted with injuries his entire career. He's not getting any younger. So this is why Leeds United's striker replacement or striker addition is going to have to be not only a striker that's going to be able to fit in the system and is going to be able to fit into this Leeds United way, this new Leeds United way, but we're going to have to go out there and actually bring someone in who's going to be fit, you know, who's going to be able to sustain a minimum 34-game season. You know, you can't be bringing someone in who, unfortunately, is going to fit that mantra of playing in this side and, unfortunately, picking up the cursed Leeds United injury record. So, let me just read about what you guys have said. Hyder's in the building and says, now that the game allows more subs, Perkins may gets to be on the first team as well. Yeah, definitely. It also depends on what striker we bring in. John's in the building says, with 5 subs this season, I think we are picking up some good young options to develop with coming seasons. Yeah, but I think the thing is, mate, he's evidently going to play more because there's no way Leeds United should be getting in front of Tottenham. There's no way at the minute, unfortunately, with the state of where we are, we should be getting in front of West Ham or even Aston Villa, really. So Leeds must have offered him something. Leeds must have guaranteed him something where he looked at that and he thought, okay, I like that. And I think that's been very, very close to the first team. But the profile of the guy is very, very exciting. If you guys haven't had a look up on him, please go check him out. Please go check the research on Sonny Perkins. And I think it's a really top signing. So Joe Sexy Man Ripley said, is it true that Viduka is coming back for last season? I don't know, mate. I don't know if he's got the legs anymore. I'll probably still take him, to be honest with you. Michael says, is Perkins a bigger coup than Gelhardt signing from Wigan? I think it's going to be a bigger one than a lot of people think, mate. I really do. I think, you know, you look at who we've had to stave off to get him, and I think when a lot of Leeds fans see him actually play, they're going to be really excited by him. So yeah, let's wait on that one. Let's wait and see. Looks like Bruges are going to be reluctantly selling Charles de Ketelaere to AC Milan. And when I say reluctantly, Leeds have put a bigger offer on the table. But as I said 3 or 4 weeks ago, there's going to be a valuation met between those two clubs, i.e. Barcelona and Rafinha, because Charles de Ketelaere wants to go there. Club Bruges don't really hold the cards because, as I've said to you guys before, player power is absolutely massive in football. Agent power is massive in football. And if de Ketelaere wants to go, he's probably going to get his move, and it looks like he's going to be signing for West Ham, imagine, AC Milan very, very soon. So a little bit disappointed, obviously, because he's our number one target. And like I said to you guys, when we had evidently the clear number one targets, in my opinion, 3 weeks ago, it was Cody Gakpo, Charles de Ketelaere, and Mo Kamara. A little bit disappointed, but at the end of the day, I do like what I'm seeing. As I said, I think Victor's doing a good job so far. I think even the signings where I wouldn't have been as up on, if you know who I'm talking about there. I think, you know, just in little spouts I've seen of them, I think, you know, okay, you know, I like what we've done here. I like what we see, and I still think other players are bigger and better profiles. But I do like what we've done so far, as I mentioned 3 or 4 times. So I'm hoping we can. I think that my look ahead now is Callum Wendo. And I do like Callum Wendo. Very, very different profile to Charles de Ketelaere. Very different profile. As I've said to you guys, I think the classic number 9 is almost dying out. And that's why Charles de Ketelaere was very different, because he's versatile. A little bit like Sonny Perkins, very, very versatile. And that is the modern centre forward nowadays. He can play multiple positions on the forward line. Callum Wendo's not really like that. So it's going to be interesting to see how he fits in. You know, if Patrick Bamford is to miss a significant portion of the season, touch wood, that doesn't happen. But we know Leeds have him in bubble wrap. He's 6'2", 6'3". We know that Leeds United's out ball under Jesse Marsch will be the long ball at points. So Callum Wendo's 5'8", 5'9". He's very much off the defender's shoulder, playing off the shoulder. His game's very, very different. So if Patrick Bamford is injured, then a lead sort of looking towards Joe Gelhardt and Callum Wendo if we were to play a front 2, where we're going to be looking, if we're playing a 4-2-3-1, to Joe Gelhardt just being up front by himself, or Callum Wendo being up front by himself, because they are very, very different profiles to Patrick Bamford. And I'd love the Callum Wendo signing, but you almost really need to keep Patrick Bamford fit there. Let's have a look. Any left-back developments, says Pat P. I don't think there will be, mate. I don't think there will be until we get a striker sorted. Jack Harrison, we have no idea what's going on there. But if Jack Harrison is to move on, I think obviously then a winger becomes priority. So the problem is, Leeds will be solely focusing now on a striker because everybody wants a striker. Everybody wants a goal scorer in the side. So Leeds United have to get this done. They have to get this done very quickly, and they have to get this done as quietly as possible, because you know how it is, everybody. When it gets out on the airwaves that you've got maybe Leeds United in for Callum Wendo, let's say, hypothetically, gets out on the airwaves, and unfortunately that is when other clubs start to look at. This has happened so many times before with Leeds. Gets out there, hence why Leeds have become a very, very tight ship when it comes to announcing and leaking actual information. And there's reason behind that. There really is reason behind that. People think it doesn't happen, but as soon as it's out there, other clubs are thinking, oh, okay, let's have a look at him. That is how it works in football. So in terms of left back developments, not yet from what I understand, but yeah, and Harvey said the same thing. Sorry to change chats. I'm worried about the left back situation, Connor. We cannot go into our first 5 games with Leif Davis, who's not Premiership quality, and Jack Harrison is not a left back. Hey, Harvey, you'll say it multiple times, and I know people are so fixed on a striker, and I get that. I get why people are fixed on a striker. If we don't get a left back in, I think it's been a great window so far. If we don't get a left back in, mark my words, from what date are we on now? I've said this months ago as well. July 18th, and I'll have said it on, I'll have said it on February 18th. If we don't get in another left back, we're going to face serious problems this year. Serious problems. Unfortunately, that is it's a basic principle of the Jesse Marsh system. The fullbacks, it's very, very basic. As in, Bielsa had so much more emphasis on the fullbacks, but their objective, especially if Leeds are to play in a narrower system, the reliance on fullbacks is massive. It's massive in this system because they provide any width that we have. So if you haven't got that, like Yelder played the other day as left back, and I didn't mind it, but he just doesn't have the mobility to be bombing up and down. He's not a natural left back, and that would be pure naivety and negligence. And I don't think they've been negligent in this window. I think they've addressed a lot of key factors. But once again, the main left back, and I'll say this multiple times, and Phil Hay said this, so because Phil said it, everyone will get really excited about it, which, is fair enough. But who's the only left back in the past 10 years that has been fit, that has played the majority of every single game, and has put out good numbers for Leeds United? I'll leave that with you because, Voldemort, he who should not be named. But there is only one. Leeds have always had problems with recruiting left backs. Always had problems with recruiting left backs with quality, right? So once again, if they don't fix this situation, we're going to be going into next season with a very similar situation to what we've had with central midfielders, and it'll just switch onto the left back scenario. Because remember, we're not in the Bielsa era anymore, where versatility is a thing. It's a brand new system. So yeah, I am worried, mate, 100%. Let's have a look. Bro, you to West Ham, says James. Might give Leeds a chance with Keteleare. Keteleare, that's how I'm going to pronounce his name, by the way. I've got to do it. Paul Stevens says, hey pal, big mistake letting Jack go. Well, we definitely need a striker before the 6th. I'd agree, mate. I'd agree. Ash says, stop saying Alioski. He obviously means I don't mean Alioski either, mate. I wouldn't ever class him as a left back. But there you go. Okay, so next rumour on the mill, what we're talking about. So we've spoken about Charles de Keteleare, we've spoken about a left back. Okay, what you're all here for. Martin Keteleare is apparently a priority for Leeds United. Rennes want 34 million. Now, is he worth 34 million? No. Rennes are just simply going to burn Leeds United for the Rafinha transfer. All the stuff afterwards, all the media coverage, who literally couldn't believe in France and England that they'd managed to sell Rafinha to Leeds for, I think it was 16.7, 17 million as an initial fee. And now we've sold him for the best part of 65 million. A massive mistake from Rennes, obviously. So listen, they're going to be driving this fee up because they were embarrassed with the Rafinha fee. They completely were embarrassed by the Rafinha fee. So anyway, for you guys who are not aware, Martin Keteleare is more of a left winger. And this is what I think people are getting a little bit confused about. I think, once again, he's versatile and he fits the profile a little bit better than someone like Callum Wendo. He's a little bit more of a Charles de Keteleare in terms of how many positions he can play along the front 3, front 4. But I don't know about this one. I'm not 100% sure where people think this guy is, because I don't see him as a natural striker. Now, Martin Keteleare, people will be well aware of him. People will be well aware of him. He's not one of these signings who's a bit niche. He's been fantastic this season for Rennes. 21 goals, 3 assists. If you actually watch any European football, which I know a lot of you do, this guy, especially in Ligue 1, has been tearing it up. A distinct game is when he came up against his old side Lyon and he scored one of the goals of the season, and he was absolutely fabulous that game. So listen, if you watch a little bit of European football, I like to dabble in all leagues. Martin Terrier isn't one of those names where it's like, who? He's very prevalent on the international stage, if you will. So market value, Leicester have been interested in him. Leeds are heavily interested in him, according to L'Equipe, which is normally a very good source. But yeah, I don't think a lot of people quite understand where this guy plays. I'm seeing a lot of he's going to be a striker replacement. He could be a striker replacement because he's played as a striker before. He's played as a right winger before, but primarily he is a left winger. So what does that say to you? Obviously, we had the insinuation the other day from Jack Harrison that we'll see when it came to his transfer, which I thought was bizarre from Jack. I thought it was really, really strange. I mean, annoyed me a little bit. Because why would you say that? Why would you say that? It's not going to be beamed back to Newcastle, Jack. It just was a bit of a strange thing to say, in my opinion, but it is what it is. Yeah. So if Jack was to leave, someone like Terrier would be a good replacement. He's not a striker, though. So this is the thing. If you're spending 34 million on someone like Martin Terrier, that's going to really impact your financial status for a striker, 100%. So I don't know whether or not Leeds would then focus on Martin Terrier being a striker, a left winger and a striker, so he can do both things, which he has done for Rennes before, 100%. But if Patrick Bamford's out, which we all know will happen this season, and we're playing a 4-2-3-1, he is not that guy. He's not that profile. And we talked about Victor Orta doing well with system-based players this season. If Leeds were to get Terrier in, okay, and it's 34, 35 million pounds, he is not a striker. He is not a person who's going to take up the Patrick Bamford role in a 4-2-3-1 system. So then what are we doing? I like his replay. I like it if Jack was to go and he was to come in. I get that, completely understand that. But it's 34, 35 million quid, according to reports. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. Someone's just mentioned there, Pat P said if we get 20 or 30 million for Jack, then Terrier seems reasonable. 100%. I mean, that would then be down the line of if Leeds would have to then sell Jack Harrison to then buy Terrier in. How long is that going to take? And, all these negotiations, which can take weeks and weeks and weeks. The season is starting very, very soon. I wouldn't sell Jack. If it meant Terrier wouldn't come in, that's fine by me. That is fine by me. If there's a scenario where you bring Terrier in and Harrison goes out, I would rather keep Harrison and just not bring Terrier, 100%, because I think learning the system, bringing somebody else in who is very, very expensive, and I think this negotiation, it seems like one of these negotiations, especially with Rennes and how we burnt them beforehand, which was their fault, but we burnt them beforehand. I don't think this will be a smooth negotiation, especially with West Ham in the picture and especially with Leicester in the picture. So I think this is one we've got to keep an eye on. I wouldn't be selling Jack Harrison. I really wouldn't. As an isolated transfer fee, as I've said, I think 35 for Jack Harrison is more than enough. I think 30 million is enough. But I think we have to have our cards in order. And I don't think at the minute when you're selling Rafinha and you're selling Jack Harrison, that's a good window. And I think that, listen, we're looking at a very short time span here. The boys are going to be back. They're going to be playing Keteleare at Ellen Road, I believe. And they're going to be playing Keteleare at Ellen Road. And then 7 days later, we're into the season. So we have to be prepared. We have to be ready. For me, you reject any bid for Jack Harrison. He doesn't seem like the type of lad who's going to be kicking up a fuss. Listen, if Newcastle come in with 36 to 40 million, I mean, even if they came in with 35, it's going to be really, really difficult for Leeds to reject that. But I think for the preservation of Leeds' attack, I think you've got to keep hold of him. I think start of the window, it'd have been a different story, but I think now it's a difficult one. I really think it's a difficult one. And then I do thoroughly believe that if they were to get Terrier, for example, they'd have to get a striker, they'd have to get a left back, and they have to get an experienced goalkeeper. The problem is if you've got a striker to do and a left winger, you don't go and get a left back and an experienced goalkeeper. I think the left winger and the striker takes up the entire transfer window for you because they're much more difficult to acquire. Let's have a look. what some of you guys are saying. We'll read out some comments before we bez off, guys. I've been on longer than I wanted to be, especially with the debrief tonight. Yeah, and we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that, guys. I am absolutely sweltering, as you can probably tell. Listen, I've got a big light on here, and I mean, it keeps telling me how my computer's overheating. We'll be back tonight with the debrief, 7 o'clock. Get your coffee ready. I mean, why would you drink coffee? You might be on night shifts. Coffee at 7 o'clock, but listen, your beer, your wine, whatever you have, on these lovely summer nights that we're having. And we'll see you in a bit, everyone. Hope you've enjoyed the rumors. Please like the video. It shows up higher on the algorithm. If you want to join the Patreon, feel free to do so. Link will be in the description below. If you want to donate to the channel, there's a thanks option just below. There's also a PayPal option. All goes back into the channel. And the debrief, guys, will be back tonight.